What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the It Matters podcast. First and foremost, if you want to show your support, don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook page to stay updated with all the content coming up. Now I'd like to tell you something about my friends at Sneaks. Sneaks is basically all about sneakers. These guys are so passionate about the quality of their products and absolutely in love with sneakers. Each pair of them has its own story and personality. However, they believe that sneakers are often the ones who actually find us and not the other way around. And this is how their story started. Do you want to keep going? Choose sneaks and make the step. Today's guest is an anesthesia and critical care doctor from Elias Emergency University Hospital in Bucharest. Besides his expertise on the field of anesthesia and critical care medicine, he is also a trainer holding several courses for students. For example, basic life support, advanced clinical techniques in anesthesia and critical care, as well as pediatric advanced life support. Currently, he is a member of LifeSim, a medical simulation center in Bucharest, investing his little spare time by passing on medical knowledge to students and helping them develop their skills. His passion and love for medicine couldn't remain unnoticed and materialized in a scholarship at the AIT department of Bichat-Claude Bernard Hospital in Paris, several articles published as well as numerous presentations held at both national and international medical congresses. However, not so many know that he gave up an acting career for the medical one in order to have a greater impact on people. In spite of this, he managed to pursue his love for acting during university when he coordinated the students' drama group. Without further introduction, help me in welcoming the man who plays his drama role on the medical stage with charisma, professionalism, and a never-ending enthusiasm, Dr. Emanuel Moisa.
What you want to do in life. The most important thing is you can be as you are, believe in what you want to believe, but the most important thing I think is to not directly do something bad to other people. If you do not do directly something bad to other people, then it's perfectly fine. Be whatever you are, do whatever you want. It's perfect if you are happy. It doesn't matter that I don't like that thing or I would not do it in my life or something like this. It's not about me, it's about you.
Yeah.
And people should assume themselves, should assume their choices and everything they do. And if they are happy with this, that's perfect.
Yeah. And as we tackle that self-awareness thing and competition, in your opinion, what makes a good resident?
What makes a good resident? Being a good resident doctor, we can talk about a lot of branches. As knowledge is very important since your first year on the medical school, and it depends on the medical specialty you will choose, but I will talk about anesthesia and critical care. Anesthesia and critical care, it's everything about organ dysfunction, and of course it's not only a lot of knowledge, but it's a lot of skills too. It means a lot of skills too, because you perform a lot of invasive maneuvers and maneuvers with high risk. But you have to know each and every organ in terms of dysfunction, of failure, which means that you kind of have to know everything about internal medicine, acute internal medicine. This is critical care medicine. So everything from the first year, from the first classes of biochemistry, biophysics, anatomy, physiology, you will see that you will need them in your residency year. So knowledge should be one of our priorities, and we should try to develop it a lot and in time. But in residency, compared with university, when I think that even in university, our mentors should try to help us to see a practical approach for what we are trying to learn. Of the knowledge, of the theoretical part, they should give us a practical a practical approach and a practical
Sense, yeah.
sense. This as knowledge, because if you will have a good mentor in your residency, the more knowledge you have, the more you will understand the things that happen, because things happen very fast in the critical care settings, and you should be able to. Anesthesia in critical care is all about fast thinking, fast acting. This very good coordination between your brain and your hand, because you have to take very quick decisions. The patient is in life-threatening conditions, and if you have the knowledge, of course, and if you have the skills, you can act fast, think fast, and hopefully and eventually thing will happen okay for the good of the patient, of course. But if you will have the knowledge, your mentor will help you shape it, will help you make use it.
And
of
put into
course,
practice.
everything you learn, everything you read, and this is, I think, a problem for most of the medical students, and of course for the resident doctors, is that they don't put that question of why. Why is this happening like this? Why this mechanism goes like that? Why? Because if you always ask yourself why, and you try to find a logical explanation, and you try to understand everything, it will be easier even for you to remember, because you understood that thing. But if you just read it and you just memorize it, I don't know, maybe in 2-3 weeks this information will not be there anymore, because it didn't make sense to you, or you didn't found a practical approach for this. It was just theory, and of course our brain knows how to protect itself. What it will not use and what is not useful will be deleted. Okay.
There is something that really summarizes what you said till now regarding knowledge. There is a guy that I'm really looking up to. He said that, that most people say that knowledge is power. And he said, no, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power when you put it into practice.
Of course.
And I think this is the perfect
it's
thing
brilliant.
What you said.
It's brilliant. This as knowledge, as skills. Of course, skills is something we develop. I really like this quote of Shinichi Suzuki. Knowledge is not skill. Knowledge plus 10,000 times is skill. And of course, some of us are more skillful, and we develop this by, I don't know, having different hobbies, and skill is something that you develop since you are a little kid, I think. But in this field of anesthesia and critical care or surgery, you really need skills, and these skills are developing, of course, by practicing, because you need to practice, and also by knowledge. And here comes the tricky part about anesthesia and critical care, because the maneuvers are complicated, are of high risk, and the patient most of the time is in a life-threatening condition, and you have to move really fast. And here is where most of the resident doctors in the beginning, they really freak out, and they really become very disappointed, and they want to quit anesthesia and critical care because of that part with the skills. Some are really scared of the part with the knowledge too, because it's a lot to study, and sometimes it's way too much, and you are not able to read everything you want. But this part with the skills and the fact that you have to perform a lot of fast and complicated maneuvers is a thing that freaks out most of the resident doctors. And here you need a good mentor, a person that will be able to have the time, to give you the time to develop, to encourage you, to help you, to be there, and to, I don't know, to give you a hug, to tell you it will be all right, you will learn it in time, you will develop that skill, and everything will be all right. But as I said earlier, some people, maybe this is not their path, and it is very important after a time of hard working, and you as a mentor being body and soul, if I can say, in the problem, maybe you should identify that kind of resident that it is not made for anesthesia and critical care, or I don't know, other specialty, and to try to tell that person that maybe this is not their path.
Yeah, right. Um, I was thinking that we talked about mentors, and I think this is quite a hot topic, if you want. And I was thinking that do you think that mentors can be leaders as well? I mean, in medicine, do you think we have real leaders? We need leaders. What is your view of a leader?
Okay, as I said in our first minutes of this interview, I think that a very good mentor can be a very good leader too. It is not mandatory, but yes, we need good mentors, and I think a good mentor should be in medicine a good leader too. We need them, and I think we need them now more than ever because medicine develops really fast. Um, and I think we don't have a lot of very good leaders and very good mentors, because being a mentor and being a leader is also a skill. I think this is a skill that it was not developed back in the days, back in the communism, because, well, this is how communism works. And I don't think they were able to develop this because,
It's a blurry concept.
yes, because they were not able to express themselves, themselves. They were not able to say what they think, what they want, what they like. They were not able to develop a strong personality traits. They were not able to think freely, and I think that this is how our brain reacts when you constantly say no, no, no. You are not allowed to do this. You are not allowed to do this. You are not allowed to be free thinking. You are not allowed to, I don't know, say what you want to say. You are not allowed to defend yourself. You are not allowed to say no, I don't like your behavior. Even if you are my superior, I will not accept this kind of behavior. And I think this is the thing that made them not tick anymore. It was the thing that most of the senior doctors made them shut down, and I think this destroyed most of their, I don't know, dreams, because I think they were like us and they dreamed a lot and they dreamed of a different system. And but at some point I think they got tired. They really got tired, and most of their dreams just
Washed away.
washed away.
I really had a very nice conversation with Professor Clan. As I told you, he developed some Alzheimer's scales, diagnostic scales, and he said something that about washing out creativity and intuition, and I think this is what happened back in that days.
Yes, because back in the days, as some of our mentors or senior doctors tell us, they were not able to come with ideas as we kind of do today. I mean, I'm that kind of person that I'm straight and forward and I say what I think. And of course, I try to do it with arguments, and I try to keep that relationship with my seniors and my superiors. But back in the days, they were not able to say what they think, to make a proposal. It was not, this thing never happened, and that's, I think this shut down their creativity, their courage. Nowadays, I think our generations have more courage. They say more of what they think. They have a lot of new ideas. They are more open, but there is still a rigid kind of relationship. And sometimes even us, even if we say what we think, even if we are different generations, the outcome is not the best, and sometimes it's not the response we want. It's not that everything is not that positive, and sometimes they perform and they respond in the way it was responded to them back in the days. But I think we should stay strong.
It's something that I also talked with Professor Clan regarding this topic. That he said that from his perspective, from a researcher point of view, that he says a lot of uniformity of thought and patterns, that people prefer to submit to a pattern because it's easier to indulge in something like this rather than just stand out from the crowd. Although nowadays, as you said, we have all the means and all the channels, all the media that we want in order to stand out.
Yes, but
I mean, it's a paradox here.
yeah, it's a paradox, but I think that in medicine that is it's a high level stress field, and everything is so hard, and you try to find a balance. I think these easy patterns are
A way out.
a way out, and people, I think, they prefer to follow it because everything is so stressful. And some people will not want to stay out of the crowd. Some people, they will want maybe to be more comfortable at some point, to get the things easier. And I think here is where we make a choice and what makes us different.
And exactly what you said, if you are self-aware and you really want that, to indulge yourself in thinking patterns and going in the same direction with everyone, and you are happy with that, it's perfect.
Of course, being self-aware and assuming everything.
Yeah. It's not that kind of black and white, good or bad. I mean, if you are happy with that,
Exactly.
it's for you.
What is bad for me, it's not
might be good for me,
mandatory
or-
to be
yeah.
bad for you. Or
Yeah. How would you define success? Now that you are covering all that things.
how would I define success? I would define it like doing what you want, doing it well, having an impact on the field you are performing, in our case, having an impact in people's life, and that means saving them and giving them, if you want to say like this, a chance to a new life, and being happy with it. I think this is when it is a real success, when you did the things the right way, you had an impact, and you are happy with it. Most of the time we forget ourselves in the way, and some people have so many achievements and they seem so successful, but they are not happy.
Yeah.
They are never happy,
Yeah.
and they are so sad, and you look at their smile, and sometimes you feel like all the sadness in the world stays in that people, and you ask yourself why. I don't know, they know why, God knows why, but I think this is success. To do it very well, to have an impact, to change something, to contribute to this world in some way, but to be happy at the same time. I think this is success. In my point of view, at this point in my life, I think this is what
This is
success
your view on success.
on success.
Yeah. Now I'd like to fire up some questions. First of all, what is the one thing that you will change about the medical education in Romania, or medical system? You can.
Well, as I told you, I'm not an official lecturer, but I volunteer. I'm a volunteer at a medical simulation center where I teach medical students medical simulation applied in anesthesia and critical care, and not just in anesthesia and critical care. And here I developed my my abilities of teaching and of leadership, of mentoring, which I aspire to be a good one in the future, and I hope this will happen. I think this is something I would change. I would start to bring to the light more and more the medical simulation, even from the first year of medical school, because it is really different when you practice something once, twice, you do it even if it's a medical simulator, even if it's not 100% uh, high fidelity, even if it's not like in reality, because we will never be able to make simulators that are just like a human being, but practicing it, seeing it, doing something repetitive, it will be easier, and it will make better, skillful, and more, I think, more oriented future resident doctors. This is something I would change by having a practical approach in learning medicine, because I think everything is made from a theoretical point of view, a way to theoretical point of view. And of course, maybe I would like to uh, that the universities will develop this concept of quality and not of quantity, because I think that there are way too many medical students, and the number of teachers and mentors, it's way too low, and this ratio
It's a disproportionate one.
yes, it's a disproportionate one. But a more practical approach, and I don't know, make medical school in that way that students will like it, not will hate it, because most of my colleagues finished medical school hating it, and they would never do it again. I mean, I think that would be a success for a university, that the students at the end of the uni years will say, well, whenever, if I have the chance, I will do it again. I think this is a success.
All right. I'm curious that, I mean, you talk with a lot of passion about anesthesia and critical care, and I assume that you spend a lot of hours every day and per week on the hospital. And how does your day look like? Your daily routine, let's say.
My daily routine, because some of the things in my life now are routine, and I think this happens to when you become an adult with responsibilities. Well, my day starts at 6 a.m. most of the time, 6 a.m., but sometimes at 5:30 a.m. It starts always with a very good breakfast, not healthy, but a very good breakfast. Food is an important thing in my life, I have to recognize. Uh, I like to drink my coffee in the morning, to smoke my cigarettes. It's something important to me, something for me. I know it's not healthy, but it's something for me. To spend some time with my cat, with Oliver. It's important to me, and it's my pet, and I love him a lot. And after this, I start my day at the hospital at 7 or 8 a.m. It depends. If I'm on a rotation on the operating room, most of the time the operation, the surgical interventions can
Last
appear
long,
complications, and they last longer, or there are days with a lot of with surgical interventions, and I never know at which hour I will be home. I never know this. I never know this, and I don't make a lot of plans during the week, because most of the time when I make a plan, I have to cancel it, because I don't know how things happen, but in a day, when I plan something, a big complication happens too, and I have to stay at the hospital. But I don't know, I stayed at hospital even until 8, 9, 10 p.m. or until 2, 3 p.m. as normal, but most of the time I spend more time than normal at hospital, more time than normal as I have to work. But I like it with all the bad things, and because there are a lot of bad things too, and there are a lot of things I don't like at hospital, and it's not related to anesthesia and critical care. It's related to our system, and it's related to people. Um, I like it. This is what I love to do, and I think that that passion and that love for anesthesia and critical care is what makes me carry on, and of course the love I have for the people, I think for the patients, because I think there is nothing more noble and more beautiful for me from my point of view to do. And when I get home from hospital, of course I spend time with Oliver, my cat, because I mean, it's curious for a cat, but he misses me. And I come home, I will always sit on my sofa and he comes to pet him. After this, I feed him. And most of the days, I'm really, really tired and I hardly find the power or the energy to continue to read something, but I try to keep myself in shape and constantly read articles or purely theory of anesthesia in critical care. But I also like to go a lot to theater. I love this. It's one of my biggest passions. I love to go to musicals, but in Romania we don't have a lot of musicals, so I I like to go to London where they have a tradition in musical theater. And of course, to spend time with friends, with family, with my brothers. Some of them are in Bucharest. Or to do things for me, just to sit and eat and enjoy some music. Sometimes just to stay quiet, not to do anything. Just it. But my daily routine is work, 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 study, and Oliver, of course.
And besides theater, which I think is quite a passion for you, do you have any other hobbies? And do you invest time in theater? I mean, practicing it, like lessons or things like that?
Yes, in my university years, I was in the drama group, the drama group of the university, and I also was the coordinator of that group for 3 years. It was amazing. It remembered me of my high school years, and it was nice doing it. Now I don't have the time to do it again. In When I was a teenager, I was a professional ballroom dancer, and I miss dancing. It was not just a hobby; it was a passion, and um, I would do it again. And I really hope that I will find time to start again, not as a professional, but to for the sake of the good old times, I would like to start dancing and even drama again.
Yeah. What would you consider uh, your your deepest regrets?
I cannot say they are regrets. I mean, yes, sometimes I miss everything about theater and the fact that I wanted to become an actor, and because I like to watch a lot of Broadway musicals on YouTube or online on the internet. Sometimes I still imagine myself being on the stage with all the lights, all the costumes, because I like that. I love that. I always love that. I I loved to entertain people, so I entertain my neighbors when I'm in the shower. Now, yeah, that's all I can do now. Um, I don't think it's regret because I'm really happy with being a doctor, and I'm really, really happy about it. And of course, there is something in my heart that makes me dream, and I wanted to be that way, but I think everything that happens in my life as a doctor fulfills that, I don't know, that maybe hole in my heart. Other regrets, I regret the way I behaved sometimes. I really regret it. I regret some mistakes I made. I regret I regret those things, and I'm I could have done it better. I'm sorry for the people I maybe hurt, because I'm sure that I hurt some people, and if I didn't tell them I'm sorry, well, I'm sorry, and I'm pretty sure they know. But I think that's life. This is how we develop ourselves. This is how we grow up, by doing wrong things too. But it is important to be self-aware. You did it wrong, and to try to correct and to perfect this in the future. But I don't think it's okay to live with regrets, because it will follow you. It's okay to feel like sorry for something you've done, but to have the ability to forgive yourself, to learn something from this, and of course to carry on, because life moves on and we have to move on too.
I think I'd go even further regarding regrets, that they not only follow you, but they also eat you up from within.
Yes, and I think we should learn to let them go. It's not that easy. I mean, it's very easy to tell to people, this is not good for you. It is very important to learn to let go, to let go. It's not that easy. When you start practicing, it's not that easy. It's like oral tracheal intubation. When you see someone performing it, it seems really easy, trust me. Or a central venous line placement, it seems very easy. When you start performing it, things are not that easy, trust me. And this is how it happens in life with our feelings, with our behavior. It's not that easy, but it's important to assume ourselves and to become self-aware and try to correct and to perfect these things. And yes, as Frank Sinatra says, regrets, I have a few, but then again, too few to mention. And this is how I think we are supposed to say, maybe when we are very old, and I hope still sane.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully we will be sane.
To summarize what we've covered and what we have talked about in the episode, what is the impact that you want to have?
That I want to have.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that if I will be in this teaching field in the future, I want to be able to listen to the medical students and to the resident doctors, to listen to them, to their needs, to help them, to guide them, to give them what maybe nobody gave me, and I hope I will be good with them. I mean, you want to do something, but when you do it, maybe it will not happen the way you imagined. I hope I will be good to them. I hope I will be someone who they will remember, and I hope I will help them shape, and I will help them be good doctors as well. This is what I want to be. This is what I aspire to help them find their way, and to be that person that added that little something, that extra something, that helped keep the things together. As a doctor, I hope I will be able to help people as much as I can, as good as I can, and of course I will do things wrong. I'm pretty sure I will fail at some point, because all of us, it doesn't matter how much experience you have, how good you are, it will happen. Complications, bad things are not written in the textbooks without a reason, because they happen everywhere and with every person, but I hope this will happen very, very rarely. I hope I will be good with my colleagues too. I hope I will cooperate very well with my colleagues too. I hope we will let out our vanity and our ego, and I hope we will always focus on our patient and the good of the patient. And as I always say, even for me and for all the people, I want them and I want me to be happy. I think this is the most important thing, to be happy and healthy. And all my friends know that I love so much another quote from Harry Potter, that says happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. And I think this is what we should all keep in mind all the time, to always turn on the lights.
Well, I really wish you that you managed to achieve everything that you said to me, and I don't know if eventually you will, but I'm absolutely sure that you'll put in all the effort that you can in order to do that.
Well, I hope so. Thank you. And as well, I hope for you the best in everything you want and everything that will make you happy and make you fulfilled. Um, yeah, I hope it will happen. But, future is unpredictable. We want to make it predictable, but I think it will not be interesting. I think life is like a game, and sometimes it's interesting to be surprised.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
If we could predict even a bit of it, I think we'll get bored.
yeah, it will be boring, and I don't know. We will see what happens. No, like that song of Aretha Franklin. That's life.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? It was really, really nice to have you here, and that we met today.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure and an honor for me, and thank you for your invitation.
Of course, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again, and maybe having another episode on another topic.
Thank you. It will be amazing to meet you again. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.